It had been raining since late afternoon, the soft, steady kind of rain that doesn't rush, doesn't roar, just falls gracefully as if the sky is exhaling. By the time I left the office, the sidewalks shimmered under streetlights, turning the whole city into a blurred watercolor painting. I didn't bring an umbrella. I didn't even bring a jacket. I stepped outside anyway, letting the cool drizzle kiss my skin. I'd had an exhausting week, and somehow the rain made me feel less alone. But halfway down Maple Street, something red caught my eye. Bright, bold, out of place against the muted gray evening. A red umbrella, held by a woman who stood completely still, as if waiting for someone or something. Before I tell you how she lifted that umbrella over my head and changed the rest of my night, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment so more Sapphic women can discover these soft, cinematic stories on Sapphic Fiction Hub. Now, let me tell you about the woman who turned a rainy walk into something unforgettable. She noticed me first. I didn't realize I was staring until she tilted her head slightly, the faintest smile tugging at her lips. Her umbrella was vibrant, a striking red dome glowing under the lamppost. She stepped closer, boots splashing softly in a puddle. "You're completely soaked," she said. Her voice was warm, low, like a soft hum. I blinked. "I forgot my umbrella." She raised an eyebrow. "Or you didn't expect life today?" I breathed out a laugh. "Something like that." She lifted the umbrella higher, silently offering space beneath it. "Come on, you'll freeze." For a moment, I hesitated. Stepping under someone's umbrella feels intimate, like entering a tiny world of shared warmth. But the rain was starting to fall harder, and she was already waiting. I stepped closer, close enough to smell her perfume. Jasmine, rain, something warm and feminine. "Better?" she asked. "Much." We started walking down the street, slowly, the umbrella barely big enough for the two of us. Every now and then, our shoulders brushed. "I'm Nora," she said. "Emma." She smiled softly. "Pretty name." My chest warmed more than I expected. When we reached the crosswalk, she lowered the umbrella just enough to look at me. "Long day?" she asked gently. "Long week." She nodded like she understood exactly what that meant. "Storm inside your head?" she asked. I blinked at the accuracy. "Yes." She turned her gaze toward the rain. "Storms always feel lighter when shared." My breath caught. Who talks like that? Someone poetic. Someone rare. We passed a closed bookstore, its windows fogged. The reflection of her red umbrella glowed in the glass. "Do you always carry a bright umbrella?" I asked. "Only on days I feel invisible," she said. "It helps me be seen." "Do you feel invisible today?" "Not anymore." The way she said it made my stomach tighten. She glanced sideways. "Are you okay with me walking with you?" Yes," I answered too quickly. She laughed softly. "Good. I didn't want to seem too forward." "You showed up in the rain with a red umbrella. I think you're exactly forward enough." Her cheeks warmed, and the smile she tried to hide was beautiful. The rain intensified, thick droplets hitting the pavement in ripples. "Come here," she said, pulling me closer so the umbrella would actually cover us. My body pressed lightly against hers. Heat traveled through me like electricity. "You're freezing," she whispered. I swallowed. "And you're very warm." She glanced at me, eyes soft. "Stay close." We walked in silence for a few steps. Comfortable, warm, shared. Then she said quietly, "You look like someone who carries too much alone." My breath shook. "That obvious?" "To someone who notices." I turned to her. "Why do you notice?" Her lips curved. "Because I know what that looks like," she asked gently. "I don't want this to end yet," I admitted. She inhaled, slowly, like my words meant more than I intended. "Me neither," she whispered. She unzipped her jacket slightly and offered it to me. "You're shivering." "I can't take your—" She stepped closer, draped it around my shoulders, her fingers brushing my neck with deliberate softness. "You needed it more," she murmured. My breath stilled. She lifted the umbrella over us again, creating a soft red glow around our faces. "Ready?" she asked. Yes, but I wasn't ready for what her eyes did to me. We reached the small pedestrian bridge near my apartment. The water beneath rippled with reflections, gold, blue, red. She stopped in the middle. "Look," she whispered. The whole world looked painted. "It's beautiful," I murmured. "So are you," she said softly. I blinked, caught. Her confidence wasn't loud. It was quiet, devastatingly quiet. She stepped closer, slowly, giving me time to move away. I didn't. We stood under the red umbrella, inches apart, rain tapping softly above our heads. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Emma." "Yes?" "You feel familiar." My pulse fluttered. "You too." Her breath touched my cheek. She didn't kiss me. Instead, she reached up and tucked a wet strand of hair behind my ear, slow, gentle, reverent. The kind of touch that means more than a kiss would. Her fingers lingered. "You're cold." "I'm warm again." She smiled softly. "I'll take care of that." We walked the last block to my apartment building with our arms brushing every few seconds, and each time it felt intentional. "What floor?" she asked when we reached the entrance. "Third." "I'll walk you to the stairs." "Why?" "In case you faint dramatically into my arms." I laughed. "You don't know me well enough to be sure I'd faint. Something tells me you might." At the bottom of the stairs, she stopped. "Is this goodbye?" she asked softly. "It doesn't have to be," I said before thinking. Her eyes widened just slightly, pleasantly surprised. "I'd like to see you again," she whispered. "I'd like that too." I reached toward her hand, barely brushing her fingers. She intertwined them immediately, soft, warm, confident. "You're shaking again," she said. "It's not just the rain," I admitted. Her breath caught. "I know." She pulled a pen from her pocket. Who carries a pen in the rain? And gently took my hand. Her fingertips were warm against my cold skin as she wrote her number across my palm. "Text me when you're home safe," she said. "I'm home now." She smiled. "Then text me anyway." She squeezed my hand before letting it go, then leaned in, not close enough to kiss, but close enough that I felt her breath on my cheek. "Good night, Emma." "Good night, Nora." The way she said my name made my whole body feel like warm rain. I walked up one step and turned back. She was still standing there, looking at me, umbrella resting on her shoulder, rain streaking around her like a frame. "Don't disappear," she said. "Not planning to." Her smile deepened. "Good." I entered my apartment, leaned against the door, and looked at my palm, her number slightly smudged but still clear. I whispered to myself, "I'm texting her." If this slow, soft, rain-soaked romance warmed your chest the way it warmed mine, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so more Sapphic women can find these poetic, cinematic stories on Sapphic Fiction Hub, where every red umbrella, every glance, and every unexpected moment becomes a spark.